All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about a very specific Canadian penny that you need to keep an eye out on. All right, and this video is not specifically geared toward the folks in Canada, but this is also a coin that can be found here in the States. So all of you avid roll searchers, wherever you may be in Northern America, you have a pretty good shot at finding one of these incredibly unusual, maybe a little bit rare coins that are worth quite a bit of money. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on. And I guess we could kind of preface everything by saying you need to subscribe to my channel if you like coins, obviously. Feel free to hit the like button on your way out, and if you enjoy the content, or hit a thumbs down if you didn't. Your prerogative. And feel free to share the video, all right, if you enjoy everything going on and you feel like it needs to go out into the world and universe, then by all means, go for it. So thank you guys for watching. As always, appreciate all the support during these rough and tough times. Stay tuned for an upcoming giveaway here this week. My way of giving back to the community. I've aligned myself with a fantastic group to help put together a really cool giveaway that involves not only coins but also cash. People need cash these days, and we're here to deliver, so stay tuned for that. So let's go ahead and start out by taking a look at the coin that kind of started it all. Okay, so the turn of the century marked a huge change in Canadian coinage, specifically the Canadian 1-cent coin. Now, there were things going on during this time. You know, the millennium was coming up, rising costs of various kind of tried and true compositions like nickel and copper and things of that nature. And the overall cost to manufacture a penny, whether it's in Canada and even the United States, even though we're still making it, was certainly rising. You know, in some cases it was costing anywhere from 3 to 5 cents to produce the penny. Okay, Canada kind of figured out, and foresaw the future coming, so they were ready to plan for it. So in 1999, what they had done was that they were experimenting with various other planchets. Okay, for in 99, they produced a multi-ply plated steel composition. That sounds like an overload of just information regarding the actual makeup of what these coins are. But what it is it is ultra-thin electroplating of nickel and copper over a steel core to produce this new planchet. So in 1999, they actually produced a number of these planchet, this new multi-ply steel planchet coins, but more so for the test market. Okay, and it's more geared toward the vending business. And yes, the Royal Canadian Mint did care enough about local business and corporations to produce its own separate allotment of test coins, which is pretty cool. So this 1999 that you see here was made, and keep in mind that the test pieces have this letter P under the bust of Queen Elizabeth II. So you'll know exactly what you're looking for when it comes to these coins. Now, for 1999, the Royal Canadian Mint made well over 1 billion pieces on just the regular, copper-plated zinc planchet that they've known for a few years at this point, because I believe 1996 was the last year of the true copper Canadian pennies. But they had produced, just as kind of like an approximate number, over 20,000 test pieces for the vending market. Okay, so these companies that produce vending machines, for sodas and snacks and things of that nature, they produce these, they test out the machinery to see how the coins read in the mechanisms, and then, they go ahead and tweak and twerk and all this other stuff, those mechanisms, to be able to accept the new planchet. So it's from this point on, from 1999, all the way up to the final year of the Canadian cent. Yes, they did cease production back in 2011. If you haven't read about it yet. But there's a lot of various interesting things going on in the last 12 years of the Canadian penny that not a whole bunch of people really know about, except some of your really big diehard collectors north of the border. So, you know, the 1999p test piece is a coin that sometimes you can find in circulation. Now, the big thing today is if you have coins that you needed to deposit at the bank, all right, usually the bank will take whatever rolled up pennies that you give them for deposit, they'll take those and send it off through the Royal Canadian Mint for destruction. Okay, you might find some banks that will actually redistribute, but the overall just commerce society has adapted to the absence of the penny coin in that country. So, you know, they're rounding up taxes and all this other stuff to the nearest, I believe, 5 cents. Okay, for those of you north of the border, you can probably kind of clarify things for me. But yeah, this right here is a marquee turning point in what is the final 12 years of the Canadian penny. But it's also worth mentioning that in 2000, the Royal Canadian Mint also produced a few test pieces with the letter P under the bust. There's only a few known. Okay, they're quite the rarity, and I haven't seen one graded or out in the open marketplace. You know, how rare and valuable those coins are is anybody's question. It's going to be tens of thousands of dollars if you're able to find an example. Now, they did produce the regular copper-coated zinc planchet coins all the way up to 2003, along with a bunch of other new plated composition coins for 2002 and 2003. Believe it or not, the test token pieces that the Royal Canadian Mint produced in 1999 actually became quite a hit. People were actually looking for these, and the Royal Canadian Mint listened to its collector base, and what they did was in 2001 they actually produced a collector set with an example of a 2001 P plated coin, penny. So those do exist out there, although this one right here, the 99p, you can buy on the secondary market for about 15 to 20 bucks, so it's not bad. Higher grade specimens will command a little bit more, but this is a coin, again, with just over 20,000 pieces reported to be produced, is an attainable rarity in terms of Canadian coinage. So that's interesting. But it wasn't until 2006 where things got absolutely bonkers. And when I mean bonkers, wow. The Royal Canadian Mint made about 5 or 6 different variants of the 2006 Canadian penny. And obviously there was no shortage of these coins. Collectively, there was over 1.1 billion coins produced in 2006. Okay, the vast majority of these coins are the regular copper-coated zinc coins, in which 866,275,000 pieces were produced. Now, the coin that you see on screen here is the 2006, and again, you see that letter P under a much more mature QE2 bust, minus the crown and all that. Of course, at this point of her life, she's well along in the years, so the Royal Canadian Mint did this new design of the much more mature QE2. So this particular coin right here is actually a low mintage type of specimen. This is that newer composition, the multi-ply plated over a steel core set. As you can see, it's got that letter P under this new bust of QE2. So this coin right here could generally be had for between 10 and 20 bucks if you wanted an example today. So there is some value in some of these coins. This is one such example where 233,000 pieces were made in this new composition with the letter P under the bust. Now, the Royal Canadian Mint also produced a coin like this in 2006, and my apologies about the out of focus images on this one. But this is a 2006 that actually has a Royal Canadian Mint privy mark under the bust. So yet again, this is another variant that was produced by RCM. And they also made this in the zinc composition and also the multi-ply steel. All right, so you want to just imagine with steel core scents, they are magnetic. All right, so you can stick a magnet to it as opposed to the zinc. They do not magnetize. And that's usually one of the things that people use to kind of identify one to the other. It's just to throw a little magnet on there. If it sticks, you're good to go. Now, the RCM Privy Mark 2006 Canadian pennies were produced in healthy numbers. The zinc fashion, there was 176 million pieces made, and then the multi-ply steel was 137,733,000 pieces were produced. Again, very widely available. Not something I would probably go out of my way to go and purchase for any considerable premium, but just know that that double coin set exists out there in change today. And then finally, the last coin that matters most to all of us, that's why we clicked on the video, right, is to talk about a very significant 2006 Canadian penny. It's the one that you see here. Now, it looks no different than a traditional, I guess, zinc coin. It has no letter P under the bust. It doesn't have the Privy Mark under the bust. So it looks like just your run-of-the-mill penny. However, keep an eye on this coin without those markings under the bust, because you may either have the high mintage zinc planchet coin, or you may have, get this, the multi-ply steel. Okay, as you guys know, they were supposed to put the P under the bust. This one does not have it. This is an actual documented coin on eBay. So I achieved these photos, picked them up from off of one of the sellers on there. You know, go ahead and give credit to that seller, of course, for the images. And, you know, this is a coin you're going to keep an eye on. So if you find a coin like this, and you may think that it's just zinc, put a magnet up to it. If it sticks, this is going to be the logo-less 2006 multi-ply steel composition coin. Okay, and this is the ultra rarity that you need to look out for. Now, coins in this condition, where it looks like it's circulated quite a bit, often and tend to sell in the $50 to $150 range. That is a pretty wide range, but if you have coins that are a lot less desirable in terms of overall appearance, those are going to be your $50, $60, $70 coins. So even in low ball grades, they have quite a bit of value. Make sure it sticks to the magnet. When you have a coin that looks like what you see on screen, probably kind of like that Mint State 60 AU 58 type grade, you can see it's got a little bit of circulation wear. This is more along the lines of your $100 coin. All right, so when you find this coin, grab a magnet right away. If it sticks, then you have the valuable type of the 2006. And make sure it doesn't have the letter P under the bust or the Privy Mark. Okay, that's going to be key. And they are still out there. People are finding these in their penny rolls today. Whether you're in Canada or you're here stateside, they're being found in both locations. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about a few sales, because that's what really matters here. So we have a number of coins. I got 6 for you, relatively recent, within the last like 30 to 45 days. So, you know, here's the first 3 right here. So we have the 2006 1 cent, no logo, magnetic, make sure it is, original luster, uncirculated. This one sold for $177.49 shipped. So keep in mind, this is the conversion rate. So the numbers are italicized, I guess. That's what, you know, and that denotes that this is the conversion rate to US dollars from Canadian. If it was Canadian, it's probably like $250 Canadian. Once you click on the listing, you can find out for sure. But all 3 of these are from Canada. The second one here is an ICCS graded, which, by the way, that's one of the foremost best grading companies for Canadian coins, and they are actually based in Canada. All right, this one is a Mint State 64 red, sold for $142.02, and then a little shipping in there. And then we have a nice raw example here, which looks like it's circulated quite a bit, in AU 55. A best offer was accepted. probably in that $90 to $100 range, and then based off of the shipping, it looks like it's going to go into a regular number 10 envelope. So that's the first three there. The next set right here is much more impressive. I guess we'll start at the bottom. So you have an extremely rare 2006 magnetic, no logo, no P, Canadian small cent. This one sold for a best offer, probably $250 to $300. It's a really nice condition, by the way. Here's another ICCS graded coin. Appears this one is a 65. This one sold as a best offer. And then finally, the crown jewel out of all the top sold sales was from March 9th. We have a really nice looking full red, very lustrous example, albeit it looks like there's a fingerprint on there. So, yeah, that's usually a detractor for me. But this one sold for $745.61 US. Pretty amazing coin. They'd probably have to figure this one would grade out 66 for that kind of money. But as you can tell, very valuable coin, ladies and gentlemen. Search it out. Hopefully I wasn't too overly wordy and informative in this video. I try and give you everything you need to know in order to know exactly how these coins came to be. It's more than just saying, oh yeah, look out for the 2006 non-magnetic penny. Oh yeah, well tell me more about it, because usually people ask. So there you go. I gave you the whole rundown. But as you can see, it's a very nice modern date key in the Canadian penny series, and they are still out there. So keep an eye out for them. All right, so I'm going to thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video. Hit that bell for instant notifications. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. Stay tuned for the giveaway. It's going to be a two-part type giveaway. So I'm going to do the first video on a cash giveaway to help someone in need. So make sure that you stay tuned for that one. Thank you guys for all your support again. And I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy the hunt. Enjoy collecting money.